Mass-produced and machined, pop and minimalist artworks were dominating the New York art scene in the 60s. In LA, a slick, polished, high-tech look, known as finish fetish, characterized much painting and sculpture. Up the coast and 2,500 miles west from the epicenter of the art world, Northern California would see a large number of artists reacting against these predominant trends. With its beatnik culture and anti-war student movements in full swing, the Bay Area would provide a free and open environment for radical ideas. Products of time and space, the works of these artists reflected the anti-establishment energy in the air. These Northern California artists often used found objects and collage, much like the Dada artists, but they explored senselessness on a personal rather than a cultural level. Their work was often self-deprecating and humorous. They used the thrown-away materials of a consumer culture, and craftsmanship belied a handmade impermanence. The gallery and museum infrastructure in California was still immature, so many of these artists taught at university or art school programs for support. Peter Voulkos and Robert Arneson established the ceramics department at UC Berkeley and UC Davis. Ceramics was seen primarily as a craft. Voulkos, Arneson and their students approached ceramics more sculpturally. They had great influence on both elevating ceramics in the art world and this Northern California aesthetic that would soon become known as West Coast funk. Alternative gallery spaces run by artists would show the work of these artists and host music events and poetry readings. The King Ubu Gallery, started by Jess Collins, Robert Duncan and Harry Jacobus, evolved into the Six Gallery and brought many important names of the Beat generation together. It was here that Allen Ginsberg first read his classic beat poem, Howl. Speaking of the de facto director of Six, Wally Hedrick, Arneson said, "He was the godfather of funk art." In 1967, UC Berkeley Art Museum curator Peter Sells organized an exhibition titled Funk. It showcased the artists working in this vein. Critic William Wilson praised the show, writing that it represented a significant, if goopy, West Coast movement. However, some of the artists included in the show complained that the application of the term funk to their work was inaccurate and contributed to establishing a codified school of thought, the antithesis of what their work was about. Although over 40,000 visitors would see the funk show, by 1967, many of the artists in the show had moved in different artistic directions. The funk sensibility would live on at UC Davis, where Arneson, Wiley and Neri were on the faculty. Still, like the Chicago Imagists, some of the Californian artists would acquire international reputations, securing the significance of another American regional art movement.